Moses, what was your coursework about for the last year, 2013, 2014?
Uh, well, the main project was just about the the exploration of objectification in humans. I started off my project finally by uh, exploring puppets and making puppets because when you think about it, puppets are the complete inverse of humans. They they try to become human, but they're objects. Whereas humans, they try to become objects, and they're superior. They're more than objects. So I explored puppets because I really felt that puppets could explain more by observing the opposite. I made a few puppets. Some were more like two-dimensional, made out of cardboard, and others were made out of paper mache. I much preferred making the cardboard ones because they had this really nice texture to them. Because you don't really think of puppets being made out of cardboard. Paper mache is much more of the stereotypical way of making puppets. So then I went on to exploring uh, through paintings. So the puppets are more sculptural. I went on to exploring through paintings, uh, objectification in this edition that I made called the Save Me edition. And what that edition about is really about different extremities. So when a person is over objectified, they go they go to this point where where they need saving. And I just tried to create as many different characters, as many different scenarios, as many different compositions of people that have been over objectified. So that meant replacing parts of their limbs with like metallic objects, and removing their face or emphasizing parts of their face, and really deconstructing them to see what is really objectified about them, you know? I went further with this little, I'm not even sure what you would call it, but it's called Objectiface. And what Objectiface is about is me placing objects that almost are similar to my facial features, and placing them on top of them, and really trying to construct it onto my face. So what I was doing there was either highlighting a part of my face. So in my nose, I would place this metal object that was like an exhaust pipe over my nose, and it made like it blocked my nose out, but it also highlighted it in a sense. It became the object. My nose became the actual object, and what I was exploring there was how is it? Can you highlight something by objectifying it? Can you kind of dampen something out, make it less visible by also making it more visible? And yeah, through objectification, usually things happen fundamentally through a visual. I went on to my final creation called Mechanica. And what Mechanica is, she basically was born through my Save Me edition. I saw a repetition in my characters, and I saw that character, the repetition was fundamentally one character, and that was Mechanica. So I decided to make a whole sculpture out of Mechanica. And the idea behind Mechanica was really to deconstruct her, to take off very objectified parts of her body and replace them, or obstruct them through the same thinking that I did with the Objectiface. Also on Mechanica, there was these little people that worshipped her body, because in a way, worshipping, it's a bit of a primitive thing, you know. it's, I fundamentally don't think worshipping is the best thing. So I had these little people worshipping her because it became more than liking. It was more like they needed her. They were sucking her. There was like like people were parasites to this person. They made her life a misery. So I explored objectification in all the mediums. I did photography, I did paintings, I did sculpture. The photography that I did also was I had this edition, the slaved warriors, and basically it was about people that have become slaves because they fuel their own they fuel their own sort of destruction. They were the ones that objectified themselves, so they were basically slave to themselves. And because they are so passionate about what they're doing, they became slaved warriors, because you know how warriors they would kill themselves if caught in battle. That's how passionate these guys were about objectifying themselves. So I made this whole Save Me Objectified Warrior edition where I'm advertising big brands and wearing gold chains, but I'm also having this primitive side to me, which I explored through some of my artists, like Dinos Chapman, where he had these African carvings of people made out of like McDonald's burgers. It was so really my project was just an overall exploration about objectification. My final idea just came down to making the sculpture, because I saw fundamentally it all just came down to I kept seeing this person in my sculpture, the Mechanica. She kept coming back to me, and I needed to make it. And through my exploration, that's where I got to. Thank you.